Imagine trying to build a cathedral out of 40 hertz sound waves, a 19th century poem, and like a silk chainsaw.
Right, using literally nothing but a text box.
Exactly, just a text box. Welcome to Hellcat's King of the Hill podcast. We're getting into the master document from the latest AI music community competition today.
Yeah, specifically breaking down those top 3 winning tracks.
And what's buried in these producer notes, it isn't just about making a cool beat, right? It is a masterclass in acoustic manipulation.
It totally is. It's a fundamental shift in how we even interact with sound.
Mm.
Like when you look at the prompt logs, the scores, and the lyrical architectures these creators used.
It's wild.
It really is. You realize they aren't treating the AI as just some synthesizer. They're treating it as a literal physics engine for audio.
Which, that sets up the overarching theme for today's deep dive perfectly. Looking at the master document, we are anchoring this entire breakdown around a concept we are calling the architecture of eternity.
From progressive immortality to celestial collapse.
Yes, because these 3 artists use AI to fundamentally alter how you, the listener, perceive time.
And to really map that out, we kind of have to experience this architecture in reverse order.
Right, makes sense.
We'll start with the 3rd place track, which fights this desperate battle against a ticking clock. Then we step into the 2nd place track, which attempts to just, freeze time entirely.
Oh, then the winner.
Exactly. Finally, we hit the undisputed 1st place winner, where time just catastrophically collapses.
Let's jump straight into that fight against the clock then. 3rd place scored a 77.7 out of 100.
A really solid score.
Oh, absolutely. The track is called Immortality by the artist Iamtheeviltwin. And looking at their prompt tags, the sheer scale is ridiculous.
Yeah, they really went for it.
They asked for symphonic progressive metal at 132 BPM, combined with martial choir chants, double kick barrages, and an orchestral string ostinato.
And see, that ostinato tag is crucial here.
Why is that?
Well, for those who might not have a background in classical composition, an ostinato is this stubbornly repeating musical phrase or rhythm.
Like it just loops.
Yeah, but it doesn't resolve. It just relentlessly cycles. So by feeding that specific term into the AI's neural network, Iamtheeviltwin forced the engine to build a foundation of high-anxiety repetition.
Oh, wow.
Right. The AI maps the word ostinato to its latent space of driving, inescapable momentum.
That makes perfect sense, especially when you look at the major contradiction in their prompt. Because amidst all this massive, eternal-sounding orchestration, the sweeping choirs and the pipe organ chords, they explicitly demanded a ticking clock intro and a ticking clock outro.
Brilliant.
It's a total paradox. The ticking clock represents inescapable mortality, right? It traps the listener in literal measurable seconds.
Exactly.
But the pipe organs and that concert hall reverb they asked for, they're trying to reach the eternal. It's like being trapped in a tiny claustrophobic room with a metronome.
Well, a sprawling cathedral is being constructed all around you.
Yes. Exactly that.
And that contrast isn't accidental. AI audio models operate by interpreting semantic distance.
Okay, unpack that a bit.
Sure. So ticking clock maps to dry. Immediate transient clicks, right? Like zero spatial depth.
Very up close.
Right. But pipe organ maps to massive, lingering, low-frequency drones with just miles of reverb.
Oh, I see.
So by demanding both simultaneously, they force the AI to constantly toggle your brain between the anxiety of the present second and the majesty of forever. They even use the tag eternal ambition to guide the algorithm's emotional tone.
But wait, does the AI actually understand ticking clock as a metaphor for mortality, or is it just throwing in a generic Foley sound effect?
Well, no, the model doesn't understand mortality, but it understands the contextual gravity of the text.
Because of the lyrics.
Exactly, because they didn't just give the AI those instruments. They fed it lyrics from an Emily Dickinson poem.
Which is such a wild flex.
It is. The AI's attention mechanism analyzes the lyrics, sees 19th century vocabulary about legacy, sees the tags for progressive metal, and it synthesizes a vocal delivery that matches the sheer weight of those words.
Speaking of those words, the lyrical choices are phenomenal. They use this stanza, some work for immortality, the chiefer part. For time, he compensates immediately, the former checks on fame.
Yeah.
It's just a direct confrontation about what we leave behind.
And Dickinson uses a striking financial metaphor there, which Iamtheeviltwin knew exactly how to leverage against that ticking clock.
Oh, totally.
The poem continues, slow gold but everlasting. The bullion of today contrasted with the currency of immortality. Think about what that actually means in today's context.
The currency of immortality. I mean, it's contrasting the cheap, fast currency of immediate attention.
Like a viral social media clip.
Exactly, against the heavy, slow-moving bullion of a true legacy. And when you hear a melodic male vocal delivering that specific phrase over a neoclassical guitar solo and timpani rolls, I mean, the gravity hits you.
It really does.
The lyrics go on. A beggar here and there is gifted to discern beyond the broker's insight, one's money, one's the mine. You get the physical sensation of digging into the earth, trying to extract a metal that will outlast that ticking metronome.
The producer analysis in our master document nails it. It's a massive theatrical meditation on legacy. They are using progressive metal as a literal weapon against mortality.
But, you know, if Iamtheeviltwin decided to fight time, the artist in second place took a radically different approach.
Very different.
They decided to just hit pause on the universe.
Which brings us to the second place track. It scored a 78.5 out of 100. Titled Frozen. Well, the characters are Japanese, but it translates to Frozen by the artist Suno.
And if the third place track was a cathedral, this track is a sensory deprivation tank.
100%.
I am fascinated by SYNA's methodology here because their prompt doesn't even look like a music request.
It really doesn't.
It reads like a classified acoustic engineering manual. They prompted for an atmospheric witch house phonk liquid DNB fusion at 142 BPM entirely in C-sharp Phrygian mode.
Let's break down why that specific scale matters before we even touch the genres.
Yeah, please do.
C-sharp Phrygian is a minor scale, but it has a flattened second note. Psychoacoustically, that half-step interval creates an immediate, dark, unresolved tension.
It puts you on edge.
Right. It inherently sounds exotic and slightly dangerous. It just refuses to give the listener a comforting resolution.
And the genres they smash together, I mean, witch house, funk, and liquid drum and bass, how does an AI even reconcile those?
By finding the mathematical overlap in their sonic profiles.
Okay.
Phonk relies on heavily distorted, slowed-down bass and cowbells. Witch house brings occult, ethereal synthesizers, and massive spatial reverb.
And then the liquid D&B.
That brings the fast 142 BPM percussion but keeps it smooth. So the AI strips away the conflicting elements and keeps the shared DNA, which is aggressive, low-end, paired with haunting atmospheric highs.
And SYNA didn't leave that low end to chance either. They specifically typed, liquid metal sub-bass 40 Hz, felt in the gut as a heavy truth.
Such a great line.
Right. I read that and thought, come on, felt in the gut as a heavy truth is poetry, not code. Can an AI actually parse that?
It can, and it does, through parameter manipulation. When you tell the AI 40 Hz, you are targeting the exact threshold where human hearing transitions into physical sensation.
Where it just rattles your ribs.
Exactly. You stop hearing the pitch with your ears and start feeling the vibration in your sternum. But when they add heavy truth, the AI's diffusion model cross-references that emotional tag and applies a slight gritty distortion to that 40 Hz wave.
No way.
Yeah, it makes the bass feel rougher, heavier, more true than just a clean, sterile sine wave.
That is insane. And they did the same thing with the mid-range. They targeted the low mids, 200 to 400 Hz, instructing the AI to make them full, and explicitly stated that soul lives here in the bittersweet gap between departure and arrival. It is mind-blowing how well they understand the AI's spatial mapping.
Well, it's precise frequency carving. 200 to 400 Hz is where the warmth or the mud of a track lives. By demanding it be full and assigning it that bittersweet emotion, they ensure the track feels claustrophobic, but like deeply human at the same time.
Okay, but I have to push back on one of their texture prompts because it just sounds impossible to me.
Which one?
They asked for silk chainsaw pads. I mean, a chainsaw is jagged, harsh, and loud. Silk is smooth, continuous, soft. How does a neural network not just crash when you ask for a silk chainsaw?
That is the beauty of generative diffusion models, actually. The AI doesn't know what a chainsaw is.
Right. It doesn't have real-world context.
Exactly. It knows what a chainsaw looks like on a spectrogram, which is lots of harsh, jagged, transient spikes. And it also knows silk maps to smooth, high-end frequency filtering.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah, so it takes the aggressive, tearing waveform of the chainsaw and applies a smooth, continuous filter over it. It literally synthesizes a brand new acoustic texture that does not exist in nature.
Wow. They also prompted for sudden gated collapses into dry, urban room slap.
Right, which is a neat spatial trick. You let a huge 8-second cathedral reverb ring out and then instantly apply a noise gate that cuts the reverb off completely.
Leaving only the slap.
Exactly, leaving only a harsh, dry echo, like the slap of a small concrete room. It physically disorients the listener's sense of space.
But here's my biggest question about SYNA's architecture. They explicitly requested continuous carry architecture, no drops, no peaks, never euphoric.
Yeah, that's bold.
I mean, for genres like phonk and D&B, isn't a dance track without a drop just frustrating? Doesn't it ruin the whole point?
It ruins the point if you want to dance, sure. But it's the entire point if you want to freeze time.
Oh,
Modern electronic music is basically a dopamine loop. Tension builds, time seems to speed up, and then the drop releases the tension, right? It resets your internal clock. By removing the peak, SYNA traps you in the buildup.
you're just endlessly hovering in zero gravity. You're walking down a beautiful hallway, you see the door, but you never actually reach it. It's incredibly stressful.
Predatory stillness, as their prompt tags brilliantly called it. You are burning energy in a suspended, frozen moment.
And the vocals perfectly match that Frozen theme, too. They abandon traditional lyrics altogether.
Yeah, no Emily Dickinson here.
Right. Instead, they asked the AI for dark whispered, pitch-shifted doubles mid-disappearance, layered with golden, soulful vocal fragments, buried but persistent.
That phrase mid-disappearance is doing so much heavy lifting.
Totally.
Because they aren't asking for a singer. They're asking the AI to generate the decay of a voice.
It's the echo of a voice you are already forgetting. They even used a prompt for a chill wave wash. Soft synth bloom filtered through VHS degradation like the sound of forgetting. You aren't listening to a song. You are trapped inside a fading memory. They literally architected an esoteric vacuum to lock the listener in suspended animation.
Which creates a massive structural contrast with our final track.
Oh, definitely.
We've watched Iamtheeviltwin fight the clock, and we've watched SYNA freeze it. Now we step into the inevitable.
The celestial collapse. Let's talk about the crown.
Yes, first place.
First place goes to Starquaker by the artist Duni, which secured a flawless, undisputed 100 out of 100 score from the judges. But I'm looking at this master document and I'm calling foul. I'm highly skeptical of this.
Why is that?
Because SYNA wrote a literal PhD thesis on frequency mapping, sub-bass physics, and psychoacoustic filtering to get second place.
True.
And Duni typed 3 tags into the style prompt: Gothic rock, post-punk, Deathrock. That is it. No frequencies, no BPM, no texture maps.
Right.
How does a prompt that basic beat a technical masterpiece? I mean, how is that not just pure algorithmic luck?
Well, it isn't luck. It's actually a deep understanding of how AI attention mechanisms allocate processing power.
What do you mean?
Think about it. When SYNA gave the AI highly specific instructions for every frequency band, the AI spent massive amounts of compute power rigidly adhering to those technical guardrails.
Okay, sure.
Which leaves less processing power for raw, cohesive emotion. Duni did the exact opposite.
So by stripping the prompt down, they freed the AI up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By just giving the broad stylistic boundaries of Gothic rock, post-punk, Deathrock, Duni allowed the AI to optimize for the one thing they actually cared about: the emotional narrative of the lyrics.
Oh, I see.
They trusted the engine to build the swirling dark atmosphere entirely around the words.
Okay, when you put it like that, the lyrics do take absolute center stage. And the narrative of Starquaker is a total explosion.
It really is.
It's a gothic death rock romance, a self-fulfilling prophecy of knowing you were walking into your own ruin but being completely unable to stop. Just look at how the track opens with this strange cinematic dialogue.
And the AI parses punctuation heavily here. The intro reads, "Why is the love detector lighting up like that? Why are you asking like that? Starquaker detected Starquaker."
That sounds expensive. Correction. You call it love when it pulls you under. You always do, thinking of you, baby, like a monster I won't outrun.
Like a monster I won't outrun.
Right from the very first second, they know this relationship is a disaster. It's a fatalistic acceptance.
Yeah, completely.
But then the chorus hits and the music swells and you suddenly understand why they can't outrun it. The scale of the emotion is so vast it has its own gravity.
Yes.
The chorus goes, "These stars raining celestial, that kiss felt interdimensional, baby, you're my Starquaker."
They elevated a toxic breakup into a cosmic event. And because the AI was only restricted by the Gothic rock tag, it knows exactly how to score that.
Right, because of genre tropes.
Exactly. Gothic rock inherently relies on cavernous space, booming toms, and heavily chorused bass lines to create melodrama. The AI takes the concept of stars raining celestial and saturates the mix in a tragic, soaring, post-punk atmosphere.
It's the architecture of eternity applied to human heartbreak. And the pacing of how they reveal that heartbreak is just masterful. In the verse, they write, "Came in sweet like cherry on fire, said things I waited my whole life to hear, but quiet in the back of my mind, I knew it would disappear."
Experiencing the eternal and the temporary
Yeah.
in the exact same millisecond.
Yes. And the betrayal that follows is so visceral. Listen to this imagery. Way up high, we were flying, we owned the sky, then you let go, learned how to fall. You said you'd catch me. You made me feel like I was the ledge I was asking for a hand. You brought a trial instead.
Wow.
You can physically feel the floor drop out of the song right there.
It perfectly articulates the tragedy of unequal investment, which Duni summarizes with what might be the best line of the entire competition. I was your orbit, you were my ending.
Let's unpack the physics of that line because it's brilliant.
It's an astronomical power dynamic, really.
Mm-hmm.
An orbit implies an eternal cycle. You are caught in someone's gravity, prepared to circle them forever, keeping them at the center of your universe.
Right.
But an ending is an abrupt, terminal impact. One person was planning for eternity, the other person was just a brick wall.
Listening to Starquaker really is like watching two meteors collide in slow motion. You can see the trajectory. You know the physics dictate they will destroy each other. But the spectacle of the fire is just too magnificent to look away from.
And this is why Duni won the Flawless 100. They didn't need to manually program the frequencies of the collision because the lyrics possessed their own emotional gravity.
The words generated the atmosphere.
Exactly. Which brings us to the outro, the ultimate celestial collapse.
The outro is the emotional peak of this entire deep dive. The track just burns up in the atmosphere. It ends with, "I was reaching for heaven while you reached for your blade. I was seeing forever, you saw every mistake I made."
That's so heavy.
But these stars raining celestial, that kiss felt interdimensional, baby. You're my Starquaker. Baby, you are the end of me, Starquaker uncontained.
I was reaching for heaven while you reached for your blade. It is just high-impact devastation. It proves that while technical prompting, like SYNA's 40 Hz sub-bass manual, is an incredible tool, deep narrative vulnerability paired with a unified aesthetic vision can still yield absolute perfection.
It's amazing.
Duni harnessed the generative chaos of a machine to express something profoundly, tragically human.
So we have traveled through three vastly different architectures of eternity today. We started with Iamtheeviltwin, using massive symphonic progressive metal to construct a cathedral, desperately trying to outlast the ticking metronome of mortality.
Then we stepped into the sensory deprivation tank with SYNA,
Right.
using esoteric frequencies and Phrygian witchcraft to remove the drops, silence the peaks, and lock us in the predatory stillness of a frozen second.
And finally, we just let the gravity take over. We burned up in the atmosphere with Duni's interdimensional Deathrock collision, accepting that some eternities are just beautiful, catastrophic endings.
It forces a real reflection on how we're going to use these new technological partners moving forward. I mean, AI is no longer just mimicking genres.
Not at all.
It allows creators to literally architect how an audience experiences time. They are bending perception.
Which leaves you with a serious question to mull over. If you had this engine sitting in front of you with the ability to bend frequencies, text, and time, which architecture of eternity do you find yourself drawn to? Would you build a heavy, progressive monument to last forever? Would you dial in the exact hertz to freeze a perfect, unresolved moment? Or would you just pull the stars down and let it all crash brilliantly into the earth?
A provocative question to end on.
Thank you for listening to Hellcat's King of the Hill podcast. Make sure to check the description to hear the full tracks and join the server if you want to play in King of the Hill.